And hello, everyone, and welcome. This is Lala Madness with episode 3 of the Lala Madness Fierce Review. And today is October the 30th, 2018. Today we'll be reviewing the current news and giving my wonderful opinion on such. And I'm going to start off with how Remy Ma has actually launched a foundation as well as a clothing line all in the same week. So shout out to her. Congratulations. She's doing big things. Her and Papoose, of course, baby on the way. And also she launching these two things this week, which is very major. And I'll tell you why. So according to the Shade Room, she did she was incarcerated for a while. She did 6 years. She got sentenced to 8 years for some things back a couple years ago. And she did serve 6 of the 8 that she was sentenced for. The other 2 she has to serve on parole, which she's currently doing now. And I'll start with the clothing line. So she did launch the Remy Ma collection, which is the name of the clothing line. I'll be checking that out as well. Because she does have a little, got a little flyness to her. So I'll be checking that out. So congrats on that. She did partner with VIM Vixen, who is the clothing line that is going to be representing her in the Remy Ma collection. Now, a portion of the proceeds, which is all good news, of course, is going to go to her new nonprofit, which, as I mentioned, she launched 2 things this week. One of those will be the Remy Ma Foundation. So now, which that actually assists formerly incarcerated women to receive resources that are needed in order to pretty much reacclimate themselves into society. Now, we all know those that have been incarcerated and those that haven't. You can just imagine. You get out, you kind of have no support. Some of them don't have the funds to make it from point A to point B. And then they're getting out dealing with all kind of things, trying to get their family back together if that was the case, and vice versa. So she feels that a lot of the resources, and this is what she stated, that the resources and services are largely catered to men, disregarding the women that greatly need our support. Now, of course, we know, she did do her time, so she wasn't there with regular people, because regular people get incarcerated, and just as they're celebrities, they still do regular people stuff. They're still regular people to me. You get in trouble like regular people, you're not exempt, you're regular people. However, she kind of realized that she was a regular person, which I commend her for that, because some people lose sight of, what's really going on, that they're still regular people. So at the end of the day, she decided that these women that get out of prison or jail kind of don't have the resources, and most of the resources are derived to the men once they, re-enter society. So her program, which some of the proceeds from the Remy Ma collection, along with, of course, some other fundraising things that she'll be doing separately from that, are going to go to the Remy Ma Foundation. So that, I think, is a great thing, wonderful aspect and attribute to giving back to the community. I don't know at this point if it's a nationwide thing or just a local thing. I'm going to look into that further as well to provide you more updates and news on that. However, just from where it stands right now, the fact that somebody thought about that enough to want to give back, and the fact that she has experienced it before, kind of adds to, a little heartstring factor, that she kind of knows what it's like, and she's been in there communicating and hearing the real live stories of the women that actually go through the day to day. Okay, so congrats, Remy Ma, to both the Remy Ma collection and the Remy Ma Foundation for both giving back and also and the things that you're going to be doing, which it should only get bigger in the future. So congrats and shout out to you for that. Now we're moving on to Cardi B and Nicki Minaj agree to be positive. Now, I guess the pettiness has finally ceased. Maybe it's piped down a little bit. The tea kind of got cool instead of getting warm, because it's been hot between the two of those, between those two rather, for the last couple weeks, especially since the little knot in the head incident that Cardi B received from Ra Ali, which we know was a big thing. It's going back and forth now between get the footage, don't get the footage. We know who did it. I didn't do it. I did it. It's a whole big thing. Basically, what it all boils down to. The tweets were sent out last night at October 29th at 9:28. So Nicki Minaj basically said that she wanted to be positive and that she would not continue to entertain or keep discussing the beef with her and Cardi B. Congrats to you. Congrats to you, because Cardi B, we know, came with all the receipts, all the facts, timelines, all of that. In between y'all going back and forth over the last, couple days, especially over the weekend. So between the going back and forth and whatnot with that, it kind of, it was wondering who really, we know Ryan Ali basically clocked her in the head. But Nicki Minaj, we heard you was standing up against the wall, not really busting the grapes. So, I mean, you got the goons out clocking folks. I mean, if you got beef with somebody, you kind of do it yourself. I don't know. Maybe you big enough to where you don't have to do that. But Cardi B, she's still hood in the street. She probably got people too, but she gonna handle that on her own. Whether she get clocked in the head or not, at the end of the day, she still addressed the issue. Don't talk about her daughter. I'm just saying. All right. So, now, really, I think it's because you got tired of sharing the spotlight. That's just my opinion. You were kind of big and popping. Things kind of dwindled down over time as Cardi B kind of came on the scene, especially with that Bodak Yellow. I still bump it to this day. And she's dropped a couple other hits in between that time. And technically, things haven't been looking so good for Nicki Minaj since Safari, her ex, the one that's now on Love and Hip Hop, sexing everybody down. He got a different chick every season. Sometimes a different couple of chicks. So, okay, I get it, but since he stopped writing for Nicki Minaj, things haven't quite been the same. Those hits haven't been coming like they were. Whatever it is that he was doing, he obviously was doing a good job. Maybe you need to hire him on the low to kind of just keep that thing coming. At least slide you a couple ghost written beats, work out some arrangement where you pay him a little bit and it could just stay ghost written. Nobody got to know. Then nobody wouldn't have known had you not broke up with his ass. Now, being said that, I just think that at this point it's really petty. Nicki, you kind of salty because you had the spotlight all to yourself for a while, being the only female rapper that kind of was in the spotlight. Not saying you were the only one at that time, because there were some other people here and there that popped out, and then some old people that kind of came back. But at the end of the day, you kind of was sharing the whole spotlight, like as a whole, to yourself for a moment. So now that someone else is on the scene, you kind of don't want to share. You don't like it. I don't know what your issue is, but honey, you didn't come in here by yourself. It was people here before you got here. It's going to be some people here after. The only thing I can tell you is about longevity. Push hard. Get somebody else to write your beats. If not, go back in there, keep practicing. I mean, your rhymes. Go back in there, keep practicing, get better at it. Whatever it is that you need to do, you need to get back to the original you, the Safari you. That one there. So, at the end of the day, I hope, and Cardi B did respond, so she did agree to go ahead and let the pettiness cease. And she said, all right, then let's keep it positive and keep it moving. So Nicki Minaj once again called to, publicly on Twitter, called to kind of end the beef between her and Cardi B, and Cardi B replied with that she'll go ahead and keep it moving and positive, which is what they both need to do anyway, as two grown ass women. So if it's not enough, space in the spotlight for not too many female rappers, I mean, Remy Ma, she doing her thing too. Got to give it to her. Not gonna leave her out. There's some other people trying to climb the charge, some newbies and whatnot. But these are the main two right now that are in the spotlight, and y'all are beefing. I mean, generally you want to kind of come together. That womanhood thing, I know it sounds so corny and so blah. However, I mean, you want to get ahead in business 101. Might not like the chick that you work next to, but she might know a thing or two that you don't, and vice versa. She may know somebody you don't, and vice versa. So it's called sharing information, sharing knowledge, and apparently, if something is not working for one, maybe y'all need to share and find out what's working for you. That might be working for you, and vice versa. And sharing is caring. Sharing is caring. But I guess the beef will end. We'll see how long that lasts, and if that will last at all, or if it's just some hoopla or whatnot. However, we shall stay abreast on the Nicki Minaj and Cardi B Let's Keep It Positive movement that just started apparently last night. Now, and moving on to Jada's Red Table Talk, part 2 of Our Unique Union with Will Smith. Now, this episode I did watch. I love Jada, Will, all y'all good people. Love you. Now, at the end of the day, some things that they touched on, and I usually don't do these type of topics. However, maybe I'll do more. But for right now, I like the fact that their union is different. Like the topic says, our unique union. It's very unique. They raise their kids different. They don't go by societal norms as far as what you feel or what they feel marriage should be, because that could vary for everyone. Different households, different raisins, different rules of marriage. Some were raised in a household where marriage was the thing to do, and some actually a kid or two may have swayed and decided, I don't want the titles, let's not do that, and they kind of just decide not to. Whatever the reason, you're kind of battling. Usually it's somebody in a relationship that's battling to have a title and someone that's like, blah, whatever. I mean, I'm fine with the way things are. Now, in this episode, they did say a couple things that kind of struck me as a positive way to go. Some good things to stay in tune of, and in determining what you will want out of a partner, and also how to be a good partner yourself. So what they said is that they don't live up to the expectation of what I expect him to be. So Jada was saying she can't expect him to live up to what she thinks that he should be, and vice versa. He feels as well. Will was saying he felt that a husband should be a certain way. He should provide her with this great party and these trinkets and all this. And Jada was like, she don't need that. She wants something else, a little bit more solid, stable, a bond, perhaps communication, the normal things that most women want. That are oftentimes overlooked when, she told him that a party he threw for her was for his ego, which then he said he had to realize that it was. At the end of the day, when you're doing things to be seen, are you doing it for the person, or are you doing it to make yourself look good as their spouse, their mate, or whatever have you? Is it for you or is it for them? What do you expect out of the relationship, and what do you expect this person to be? 9 times out of 10, you really don't know the person that you're dating anyway, because a lot of the times, it's going to be very different. It's going to be different in the aspect of you're going to want someone to do things a certain way that you're expecting them to do. It as they're going to be wanting you to be this particular person that you may not be, because of course, you're not the same person that they meet early on. Okay, so at the end of the day, if everyone stays true to themselves, then you can actually be the person that, they think that they want. Because if you're someone else, who are you? I mean, who are they really getting? Who are you checking in with and being on a day-to-day basis when, generally that's not you when you're at home, when you're by yourself? My motto on my first, second, third, and fourth date is the same me that you get today is the me you're going to get next month, 6 months, next year. I don't like surprises. I don't plan on giving you any. I am going to keep it 100 at all times so that you know what you're dealing with. I would like the same, but it's not always available and not always out there. So make sure you know and you're defining what you want in a relationship with the person that you're in a relationship with, and make sure that you are the person that they're supposed to be falling in love with. Because how do you keep up that stigma forever? How do you keep up the fact that this is really not me and this is who you're falling in love with? But at the end of the day, I'm going to be mad if I switch up and start being, the person I really am over time. And then you are accustomed or got used to loving or being in love with the person that you met, which is possibly not the person that you have 6 months later. So if we stay true to ourselves throughout the whole time, it's a lot easier and a lot less work. But then, of course, they say marriage, you have to fight and work every day. Fight hard. All right, work it out. And they also said that they don't label their union a marriage. It's a life partnership with unconditional love no matter what. Okay, how many people can say that? Some people want the label, I want to be a wife, I want to be a husband, I want this, I want that. That is a sense of ownership. You don't own a person, never can. Slavery is done, that's dead. Can't do that no more. All right. So their idea of marriage is a life partnership. You are stuck with that person forever. Not stuck with because that sounds bad. However, that's generally what it is, all summed up. You mess with me, you stuck with me. I'm gonna leave that, you F with me, you stuck with me. That was a old saying back in the day in a movie I love. Right. At the end of the day, you want to have a partnership with unconditional love. So this person can be, themselves. They can cry. They can have their vulnerable moments. They cannot like you in this moment and you still will be there. You're not going to run away because they didn't do something you wanted or weren't the person you wanted them to be in this moment or did something you didn't like. I mean, they're human. That's kind of what humans do. Right. So at the end of the day, they also said that it's good to be a best friend and a ride or die as opposed to having a label. Know that you're down for that person. Know you're going to be there no matter what and that they can talk to you about anything. Open communication in a relationship is very important. If I can't talk to you about anything, I don't know how that's going to work in the future because I might need to communicate. And if you don't know how to receive my communication, it could be a little rough. Okay. And they know the truth of who you are. You also want to put on display who you really are, like I was saying previously, and also know your partner. Know your partner, know who you're getting involved with, and also know yourself. Because if you don't know yourself, how can you be someone worth having in a relationship or partnership? You don't even know you. So how can you take the time to get to know someone else? Good question. And what I want to know is what defines a relationship for you. Is that the titles of having the husband and wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, we go together? I mean, we just friends, we hook up, you just smoke buddy? I mean, what is it? Everything got a title. Brother, sister, they do that brother, sister thing now too, where it's just brother, sister. That's really interesting. Knowing 85% of the time they didn't did it. Anyway, is it the actions? Is it dealing with things on a daily basis that define the relationship? I don't know. You let me know. That is the news for today. October the 30th. Get at me. Of course, you can follow me on Facebook at the Lala Madness. Also on Twitter, SoundCloud, and YouTube at Lala Madness. And thanks very much. Have a good one.